This is the tardigrade. It's the toughest animal on Earth. It survives outer space, radiation that would kill you 1,000 times over, boiling water, and cold near absolute zero. And it does all of it while technically dead. It has a wild reputation. The tardigrade, also called the water bear, is famous as nature's indestructible super animal. It's about 0.5 millimeter long with 8 stubby legs and little claws, and it looks like a gummy bear that skipped the gym. And most of that reputation is true. There's just a catch. The catch is that the tardigrade cheats. When the water around it dries up, it pulls in its legs, curls into a barrel, and squeezes out almost all of its water, up to 95%. Its metabolism drops so low you can't even measure it. The dried husk is called a ton. At this point, it has basically stopped living, just paused. For years, the textbooks said it survived on a sugar called trehalose, like brine shrimp. Turns out it barely makes any. It uses its own special proteins instead, ones that turn to glass as it dries and hold the cell in place. It shrink wraps itself from the inside. So in 2007, the European Space Agency launched dried tardigrades into orbit and left them in open space for 10 days. The vacuum did almost nothing. What hurt them was the sun. The ones hit with full solar ultraviolet mostly died. The shielded ones woke up fine, and a few even laid eggs. So the toughest animal in the universe handles the void of space. It just can't handle a sunburn. Radiation is where it gets silly. It takes about 5,000 grays of radiation to kill half a batch of tardigrades. The dose that would kill you is around 5. So that's roughly 1,000 times the radiation a person can take. Part of the secret is a protein nicknamed DSUP. It wraps around the animal's DNA like a bodyguard and shields it. Drop that protein into human cells in a lab, and they start surviving radiation too. The strangest part is that nothing on Earth has ever hit an animal with that much radiation. There was never any reason to evolve a defense against it. The leading idea is that drying out and getting irradiated damage a cell in much the same way. So the gear the tardigrade built to survive drying out just happens to survive a nuclear blast too. It got the radiation armor for free. It was only ever aiming to stay dry. And once it's tunned, what it survives gets ridiculous. It survives temperatures near absolute zero, colder than deep space, and pressure 6 times greater than the deepest ocean trench. Some scientists even loaded tardigrades into a gun and fired them at a wall, just to see. They survived impacts at nearly 2,000 miles an hour. A bit faster, and they turned to paste. And when the danger passes, you just add water. A dried tardigrade soaks up the water, unfolds, and walks off within minutes, like nothing happened. One group woke up from a frozen lump of moss after more than 30 years. You could leave one in a drawer and check on it after college. So nothing can kill a tardigrade, except maybe an afternoon. All of that, the space, the radiation, the gun, only works when it's dried out and switched off. A living, walking, hydrated tardigrade is a soft little nothing. In 2020, scientists found that active tardigrades start dying at about 37 degrees Celsius over a day. That's a warm bath. It survives the empty void of space, but it can be killed by a nice sunny day. And it doesn't even live anywhere dramatic. Tardigrades live in moss, in lichen, in damp soil, in the gutter on your roof. The ones in that heat study were scraped out of a rain gutter in Denmark. Out there in the wet, the toughest animal on Earth gets hunted and eaten by amoebas, worms, and other tardigrades. A single-celled blob eats it for lunch. So the tardigrade just knows when to quit. When life turns impossible, it doesn't fight back. It dries up, switches itself off, and waits for the problem to go away. It doesn't beat death. It schedules a nap and hopes for better weather. Which is probably why there are thousands of tardigrades on the moon right now. A spacecraft carrying a load of dried ones crashed there in 2019. They may have survived the impact, but there's no water on the moon to ever wake them up. So they're lying in the dust, switched off, waiting for a rain that is never going to come. If you want another animal that wins by doing as little as possible, the sloth somehow beat evolution by being slow, and that one's already up on the channel. Subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one.